Well, hello there, Facebook family. It is Melanie Mitro, and I'm coming live to you from my office, and I am just doing some work here post summit. And one of the things that I shared in my presentation at Summit was about having a vision for where you are going and how it's really hard to move forward towards your destination if you don't know where you are going, right? So what I want to do is just spend a couple of moments giving you some things to think about. Guys, you're awesome. Thank you for the love and the hearts and the thumbs up. I hope that this is a topic that you really wanted to just get more knowledge in. So good morning, good afternoon. So vision board, right? So I was thinking about my vision board in my first 6 months as a coach. I was brand new. I did not know exactly what I could achieve, but I knew what I wanted to achieve. I didn't necessarily know what was realistic, but I was willing to put myself out there. And so when you start to think about your vision, I think it's really important for you to ask yourself this question. What is your purpose? A vision board is a visual representation of your dreams and your goals and your ideal life. And I think in order to find out what that looks like, you've got to figure out what your purpose is. And I believe everybody's purpose is unique to you. So what I might put on my vision board might not be something that fills your cup, might not be something that makes you feel successful. And like I said in my summit presentation, is that success is defined as pursuing a greater quality of life on your own terms. So not on what I put on my vision board, not what your upline does, not on what the other coaches that you may follow on social media might put on their goal boards, right? It is very unique to you. So how do you figure out what your purpose might be? So the first thing you want to do is ask yourself this. What is it that you've always enjoyed doing in life? What did you do as a kid? How did you spend your pastime? Like when you were little, what did you dream about when you were little? What did you want to be when you grew up? And so for me, it's funny because I always wanted to be a princess. I always wanted to live in a castle. I always wanted to be a supermodel. I don't know. Those were the things that I thought about. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to help other people. I've always had that. I want to help other people, but I've always had this side of me that wanted to just live freely, wanted to be able, just be able to live my life the way I wanted to live it. So for me, it is definitely that I want to help people, but I want the financial part that goes with it too, because that is what makes me feel good, is when I don't have to worry or stress about money. So you kind of have to ask yourself, all right, what's my purpose? So maybe, for example, Brandy, if music and art is what you love to do, how could Beachbody be able to give you freedom to be able to create more music, create more art? Could you have more resources to be able to do those things in the future? Maybe you have a dream or a goal of opening a nonprofit organization, or being, going on mission trips, or maybe you want to be able to open your own school someday. I'm just throwing things out there, but think about what kind of resources, what kind of exposure that coaching and social media and this network can provide to you, which can be a stepping stone to somewhere else in your business, right? Maybe you're a parent and you say to yourself, right now I'm in a job I don't love. A year from now, I envision myself turning in that notice, quitting that job, being able to, and so if you just sort of close your eyes, and this is a process. This is a process of you actually taking a step back and saying to yourself, what do I really want? What do I really want? Because I'm going to be quite honest with you. I didn't know what I wanted. I remember sitting at my kitchen table and thinking to myself, I don't know. I've never asked myself, what do I really want? I've always just said, well, I'm mom. I am in charge of the laundry. I'm in charge of cooking dinner. I'm in charge of, going grocery shopping. I don't know. My role is mom. I don't know what I want because I put that on the back burner for so long that I now don't know where I fit in. And I can remember reading Chalene Johnson's book, The 30-Day Push, and being stumped by the fact that I don't know what I wanted. So bottom line is, this is a process. What is unique to you? What it defines success for you? Because also, I was afraid to say that I wanted to work. I was afraid to say I wanted to be a Beachbody coach and I wanted to do this full time and I wanted to be really good at it, because that meant that what Matt and I had prepared for while we were dating, when the conversations we had getting married and talking about having a family, the conversation was, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I do not want to work. I want to be able to be crafty and stay home with the kids and do that stuff. So now here I was saying to myself, okay, everything we've just prepared for, I no longer want. And that was also very hard for me to say as well, because that meant that I had to admit that I wanted something different. And I think I was slightly afraid of what Matt was going to say. I didn't want him to be angry with me. So this process of making this vision board really put things into practice for me. All right. So I started to really just take some time and kind of just digest all of this. And then what I did was I got out a piece of poster board, and I did this with my coach and I did it with her coach. And we sat at my kitchen table and we got markers and we had magazines and all sorts of stuff. And so what I did was we sat down and we said, okay, at the top was 2012, Melanie Mitro's vision board. And the first thing is you have to say to yourself, if the sky is the limit, what do I want to accomplish? And so instead of saying, I want to be an elite coach, I want you to say to yourself, I am an elite coach on December 31st, 2016 or 2017, or I am a premier coach, or I am a Success Club All-Star on this date. I am achieving Success Club 10, 12 out of 12 months out of the year. I am going to pay off my student loans in full by July 31st, 2017. I am going to sell my house and buy a house in Ross Township, right? So I'm just throwing things out there. I am going to open a nonprofit on this date. So I want you to have some big, hairy, scary goals that kind of like make you take a step back and say, oh gosh, can I really do this? And I want you to write it down. I want you to write them down. You can't be afraid. Don't let your goals scare you. Goals are meant to drive you. And you know what? You are not a failure if you don't achieve it in the time frame you set. But if you don't set the goal and go all in and be 100% committed, you're going to keep tiptoeing around the goal. So for example, if you say to yourself, I want to be a 5-star diamond by Summit 2017 in New Orleans, if you don't write that down, if you don't look at it every day, if you don't speak to yourself as you are a 5-star diamond, if you are saying to yourself, well, let's just see what happens, you will never fully commit to it. But if you write it down and you look at it and you say it to yourself every day, I am that, every behavior you do will drive towards you accomplishing that goal. All right, so don't be afraid to write it down. And you know what? If you go to Summit next year and you are a 3-star diamond, you are going to be further along than you were this year. So why wouldn't you just put it all out on the table and go for it? So you want to be positive. You do not want to be afraid. You want to have some big, hairy, scary goals, things that do scare you, but then let's have some short-term goals in there. What do you want to just do in the next 30 days? Because doesn't it feel good to check things off the box, right? So maybe you have one thing that you're going to accomplish. Like, I am going to do Country Heat from beginning to end. I'm going to do every single workout. I'm going to follow the meal plan. I'm going to check off the boxes. At the end of the 30 days, I'm going to take those results. I'm going to submit them to Beachbody and get my free swag. That's achievable. That's realistic. You can measure that. You can do that. So maybe you want to pay for your kids' tuition for preschool, or maybe you want to pay for your Christmas in cash so those are things you can say, I'm going to do. Helping people. I'm going to help 50 people achieve their health and fitness goals. Those are measurable and achievable. So have long-term, have short-term. Goals that you put on there as well. So, and when you put them on there, don't just put a goal out there and slap it up on the wall and look at it every day. I want that to drive your daily actions. And every single day you ask yourself, am I doing the behaviors to get me to my ultimate goal? And if you say no, then you have to course correct. You have to change your plan of action. All right? So it's got to be emotional. It's got to really move you. It's got to drive you. And it's okay to change it. If a month from now, your life gets turned upside down, something happens, and you have to change, it's okay to change it. It's okay to change it. But do not change the goal because you're afraid you won't be able to hit it. Only change the goal if your life changes and what's inside changes for you. But you keep that goal. You keep sharply pointed on that goal until you achieve it. And like I said on my summit presentation was this. I missed one of my big goals. I wanted to be a 2-star diamond. That was what I needed to do to go to leadership. I missed it by 2 weeks, but I didn't let that get me down. I might have just might have taken me back. Maybe it took the wind out of my sails for 24 hours, but I said to myself, you know what, Melanie? You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You need to refocus and you need to keep going because you will accomplish this. There's no looking back. You are moving forward. And within 3 to 6 months, I did just that. I accomplished that and then more. But most of you are going to pull your foot off the gas. You're going to let it defeat you. All right? So be the 10% that doesn't give up. Be the 10% that doesn't give excuses. And then last but not least, people, you have to show gratitude. All right. So you got to show gratitude for the goal board. And so every single day, you need to look at that goal board. So and for me, I hung it on the wall where I worked out in the basement, but maybe it's a screensaver on your computer. Maybe it is on your phone. Maybe you hang it, in your office or whatever, but I want every single day for you to look at that goal board and I want you to be thankful that you are breathing, you are living, you are moving, you have the opportunity to make a positive impact, and I want you to be thankful for the things that you are making progress on. I want you to focus on the positive. Don't focus on the negative or the things you didn't do or the things that you're failing at. I want you to focus on where you have come, because if you keep moving forward and you don't look at the stuff behind you, you will the more you have gratitude, the more positive energy you put out into the universe, the more you're going to attract the right people to you. So don't forget to take time to reflect, take time to remember how important that these goals are to you. All right? So keep your blinders on. And somebody else said at Summit this: if you are scrolling the newsfeed, if you know what every other top coach is up to, you are wasting time. You need to be focused on your business, growing your business, power hour, get it done. Do not stop. And you can't do it a fingernail more, guys. Do it like you can't do it a fingernail more, because at the end of the day, you have control of your own life. So I would love for you guys to share your vision boards with me. As you create a vision board, as you update it, just come back and find this live video. Just in the comments below, just share your vision board. I'd love to celebrate success for you. I'd love to be a part of it. I'd love to shout you from the rooftops. I know, it's hard. It's hard to create goals. It's hard to create a vision. But yes, coming out of Summit is overwhelming. If you can just take some time, collect your thoughts, find a quiet place. Don't focus on just being busy. Focus on being busy on the right activities. And if you do that, you guys are going to move forward. Promise you next week at this time, you won't feel so overwhelmed after Summit. You'll have a clear plan of action. And I want you guys all to know that I am sharing this with my team, because if you guys have a team, a small team, hi Carol, share this with them. Do a vision board party. I'm doing 3 of them. I'm doing one with coaches and emeralds and rubies, and we're getting together locally. I'm doing one with diamonds and above, and we're getting together locally. And then I do have a huge team, and we're not all local. So I'm going to do a virtual vision board party as well. So within the next couple of weeks, we are all going to work on our vision boards. So this is sort of like the prep to get them there. And I shared it with you guys because I want you guys to do just the same. All right? All right. I'm going to go read all your comments, but thank you for participating. I think this might be the most we've ever had on a live feed. Feel free to share this with your team. Feel free to encourage them to do the same thing. And you know what? If you're a leader, make your own vision board. Share it on your social media. Write a blog post about it. Do a live video about what you want to accomplish. Post a picture in your challenge groups, in your team pages. Be the leader, lead from the front, and show your team what you envision for your life over the next 12 months, the next 6 months, and maybe even the next 2 years. All right? All right, guys. I will talk to you later, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.